Video reaction to the book The End of Patriarchy: Radical Feminism for Men by Robert Jensen. So here's my initial reaction. It was straight applause, as you can see. In the introduction, Follow Your Fears, Jensen speaks about how pursuing your passion can be dangerous and how you should follow your fears. And this really took me by surprise because I've never heard someone to tell me to follow what I've been fearing. A quote that really stood out to me was, "Some of the most vulnerable populations around the world already face catastrophic conditions, and there's no guarantee that the affluent will be protected indefinitely from similar fates." This really got me thinking about today's society and how humans think that they're not very vulnerable until this little coronavirus came into our lives and created catastrophic devastation for many. And it really got me thinking when I read this quote about how we don't know what our fate is going to be. And the word patriarchy means that males are the head of the house and that they pass it down to other males. But what I don't understand is that, do the men know that they came out of a woman? It's just, I don't know. I don't understand that part. And another part discussed in the introduction was how we should walk towards disagreements about how to understand the world instead of just agreeing to disagree. The next part of the introduction, Identity, Policies, and My Identity, Politics and My Identity. Jensen states how he's a white, male, married, Christian from the United States and graduated with 2 degrees, and now he's one of the top 20% of taxpayers. And he wrote this book because he wanted men to be more likely to read it since it was written by men. And he did this to deal with his own fears, which I really give him props because I know he probably got a lot of criticism for publishing this book, but it didn't stop him, and it didn't stop him from really opening up and becoming very vulnerable. The chapter I decided to focus on was rape and rape culture and normal violence. And some statistics that stood out to me were 38% of women reported sexual assault before the age of 18, 14.8% of women reported being raped before the age of 18, and 47% of men who rape said that they expect to engage in similar acts in the future. And this GIF over here sums up my reaction perfectly to those stats. And with the rape culture, it's not commending men to rape, but it is blurring the lines between consensual and non-consensual, and those are lines that should not be crossed. And this whole culture is brought up because aggression and violent behavior exists, and in settings like the locker room, Jensen even includes his own story about the locker room, and it carries on to Hollywood. And men need to acknowledge these behaviors, that even though they don't rape, just the thought of rape and being aroused by it is still a behavior that is bringing violence against women. And my final thoughts are that Jensen had a lot of courage and strength for publishing this book. He made a lot of amazing points, and I'm going to recommend this book to pretty much everyone in my life.